Hello, and welcome to Penny for a Tale. Tonight, we are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is the 44th episode of our Age of Ashes adventure path. But before we get into the sponsors for tonight's session, let's reintroduce our cast, starting with James.
Hi, my name is James Glass. I am here again tonight reprising my role of Waldorff Skysteel, better known as Dorf. You can also catch me on the occasional Tuesday night playing Call of Cthulhu with Sam and a couple of other folks. And I just once again would like to say thank you so much for having me, letting me be a part of this. I am so excited to see where this goes. And I'm just glad that I'm still alive.
For now. Daniel.
For now.
I'm Daniel, I'm playing Sailix.
Sam.
Golly, short and sweet. Hey guys, I'm Sam. I'll be playing Aghi, the half-orc barbarian, tonight.
Dr. Mr. Smith.
Hello, I am Dr. Mr. Smith, and I'll be playing Rune Ravenswood.
Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. Tonight I will be playing the Vespern, the Sea Elf Rogue, and I'll also be playing Hysteria, the Strix Cleric of Zon-Kathan.
Uh-oh. Alright, that's everybody. And I'm Ian. I'll be playing Ian. Tonight's session is brought to you by Smiteworks, the creators of Fantasy Grounds Unity, which we've used the entire time and we will continue to use for at least the rest of this campaign. If you're interested in picking up a virtual tabletop, I could not recommend it any more. It really does everything that you need for the actual play on the day. If you're interested, go to fantasygrounds.com to check it out. We're also sponsored by The Only Sheet, which is an Excel-based character management tool. If you are not interested in using a virtual tabletop or you're trying to do something hybrid, they're also absolutely excellent. I'm a huge fan of Excel because I'm a nerd, and I think it just runs super smoothly, and it supports a bunch of editions and stuff. I would just go to theonlysheet.com and check it out. And then our music and ambience tonight is by Rock Narden and Michael Gelfi, respectively. You can find their Spotify and YouTube links in the show notes. And then a special shout out to Che and Piku on Patreon. They have fantastic maps, and I think we might be using at least one of them tonight. If you're interested in looking at beautiful, high-quality digital maps, you should check them out on Patreon. I will have a link to them in the show notes as well. But let's get into tonight's game and sort of pick up where we left off. There's a lot going on in the Hidden Forge underneath Kovlar, and it's a lot of action, and it's happening quickly, but I don't want to go there yet. I want to go to Jewel Gate.
Oh.
The portal that links Breach Hill in the nation of Isger, central Avestan region, to Kovlar underneath the Five Kings Mountain. It's been something of a trap lane. Sailix, Aghi, you're caught in the middle of this. Falrock has led you there. He was sort of at your mercy, you could tell. But at the same time, he was more than eager to take you here. He's between you, Aghi, and Sailix. But Hysteria has arrived. Moving up, sort of a strange, sickening mirror image of Sailix. Describe what she looks like.
Hysteria is a Strix, so she's very tall with dark skin and bird-like features. Only her skin is sort of a sickly, almost mottled gray. And her body is littered with various modifications where flesh is pulled taut or things are embedded within it. The most striking feature of her, however, is her back. where there used to be a pair of wings in a mirror of Sailix's, but are now sort of a cruel mockery of them. Bones protrude from them, from her back, and again, the flesh is cut away to sort of expose the joints and the inner workings of her back, with spikes driven in to hold it together. Nerves run like ribbons and drag around along the ground behind her in the shape of wings, but obviously incapable of flight. You know that just the sensation of having exposed nerves would probably cause the person to be in constant agony. But again, if anything, she seems elevated and assured and just like transcendent, if that makes sense. When she approaches, you can just feel this aura of evil wash over her, as she has a bane emanating in a wide aura around her. And again, she just seems to, like, she seems focused almost purely on Sailix in sort of a, like Revelations kind of way. Like, it is clear that whatever she sees, it is almost divine in nature, but obviously a mockery again of what we traditionally think of as divine revelations.
Aghi, I'll let you take point here first. How do you respond to this?
It takes her a moment, just that aura of evilness probably washing over her, and in just like this split second, she's gonna charge Hysteria. The Strix just gonna swing at her with their axes.
Interesting. I think she's prepared for that, in a sense.
Yeah. So she has
I think
the
you need to make a
sanctuary
save.
spell. I believe it's will.
Will save.
We roll out, and you failed critically.
Oh shit!
What happens when one critically fails a sanctuary spell? Is it
Aghi.
just a longer duration?
Yeah, they can't
Aghi, you stop.
take any hostile action towards you.
You can't. You're frozen in place, and for a second it feels as if you can't even breathe. Falrock just looks back to you.
Now. Please don't interrupt. It's very annoying. She looks at Sailix. I've come a very long way. And I've been following your adventures for a very long time. Surrender to me, and I will let this one go.
How about I surrender you to my blade? Felix is going to take off a dagger.
All right. So we resume initiative. I will roll initiative for everybody. This is a tale of two cities right now. Because our friends underneath Kovlar are also in combat. Starting at the top, managing full initiative, Sailix, as you make your way towards Hysteria, you forget, maybe, for a moment, Falrock is not a friend here. He takes this opportunity, realizing Aghi is stopped in her tracks, unable to move, shaking to try to break out, but can't seem to even make a single step towards Hysteria. He jumps suddenly over. This is within your reach with Leviathan as a two-handed weapon. It does provoke an attack of opportunity, which I will roll for you. But nevertheless, he will make an attack. Actually, it's a 5-foot step. An attack. It's a critical success. Aghi, are you wearing your gloves?
Yes. After having
That
just
will
taken
help
down
you.
that creature.
Yeah. You're torn open. Your nerves are on fire. Suddenly, that even a slight breeze is enough to make them go absolutely nuts because blood doesn't come. Those gloves protect you. It probably infuriates a ghoul. So he continues. But this time, it's not to bring blood, but just to throw you, bash you on the ground. You're prone. Hysteria. You're next on initiative. What do you do?
She would look at Sailix and be like, once again, I don't care about her, but it's obvious that you do. I can kill her. I can make her hurt. I can make her suffer. And then I can kill her, bring her back to life, and do it all over again. So, why waste the time? This is inevitable. I think she's going to, let me think. I'm gonna have her, trap Aghi with, what is it?
It's like an Iron Maiden of sorts.
Yeah, the Vampire Maiden.
All right.
Before Vesprin does that, while Hysteria's talking, Aghi just shouts, "Don't you fucking listen to her." Just like gasping in pain.
This, it's a spell, correct?
Mm-hmm.
A will save, I imagine?
I don't have the sheet up.
It's fine. Aghi, that's a failed save.
So what happens is basically, chains rise from the ground and encase Aghi, in this, almost coffin-like shape. They are barbed and spiked, and each one draws, shallow cuts, bleeding her. The blood starts to pool at her feet, and it seems to run in small rivers towards Hysteria. And as Sailix watches, this seems to strengthen Hysteria even further. And it just hurts a lot.
Yeah, Augie's probably screaming at this point. Can't hold it back.
Truly an intense amount of pain. Felix, you do see this. You did notice Valrock pulled the gloves off of Aghi. He seemed to have some sort of inclination. Maybe detect magic. Or maybe it was the symbolism of Sarenrae that he didn't enjoy, being undead, but he sort of kicked inside, and that's what caused Aghi to bleed.
She just looks at Aghi and is just like, Your spirit is as weak as your vessel is. Breaking you isn't even going to be fun. And she just looks over at Sailix.
We'll get back to you guys. But, Waldorff,
Hey,
you see him. He's been pulling the strings. He's been the puppet master, at least as far as you're concerned. And he's 25 feet away from you. Got a straight shot, too. The guard is probably heading straight towards you, but doubt she's quick enough. What do you do?
Smile to start with, and just head directly for him. Guard or no guard.
All right.
I don't know, honestly. Just walking directly towards him with just that rictus of a grin on my face. I've been looking for you. I'd pull up about five feet away with each hammer in one in each hand.
Yep.
And yeah, I'd pull up a bit short and just stand there and wait to see what he says.
Oh, perfect.
Just give him that moment of
Let's
realization.
wait to see what the wizard says.
Realize. Yeah. Well. Okay, maybe that's not.
No, it's good. You can ready an action to attack. If you can ready an action to attack, in the event that
I would love that. Yeah. If it seems like he's
ready an
gonna be
action to
casting a
throw
spell,
specifically.
Throw specifically that light hammer. I want to see what he says. I want to give him the opportunity to monologue a bit and just kind of savor the moment, as it were.
Yeah. Rune.
But yeah, definitely gonna ready that attack action to throw one of those hammers straight at his smiling face.
Perfect. Dear wizard, you can see this from line of sight, among other things you've seen.
Oh, so much going on right now, and I think Rune only knows about half of it. So we're going to drop a. Oh wait, did Dorf call out that he wants to hear something from? From. Okay, is it Farian?
Zephyrian. Yep.
All right. Is there an exit that Zephyrian was heading towards?
Initially, Zephyrian, it seems he had been backing up towards an opening in the tunnel. Yes.
All right. We're going to cut that off with a wall of force.
I had a feeling you would. All right. What else are you gonna do?
First of all, I need to make sure I'm in visual line of sight. Which door was open?
The one Dorf is standing out of.
Okay, perfect. Just to make sure. That should give me line of sight. Going to cast the wall of force. It is a 20-foot high. Oh, wait, I might need to get closer. Hold on. Oh, yes, I will.
The opening is sealed.
Yep. I'll go here or here. Yeah. So Rune sort of moves quickly to stand just in front of Dorf. As he was moving, his hands were already sort of weaving into arcane symbols, and as he comes to a stop, his staff slams on the ground as just tendrils of arcane energy just sort of arc across the ground and begin building this wall. Not opaque, it's a bit transparent, but can see the distortion in the visual field as this arcane wall of force forms across the exit.
Excellent.
Yeah, just like that.
And suddenly there's no getting through it, is there? Now, is that all your actions?
That is, in fact, all of my actions.
All right. For initiative. The guard moves in to prepare to defend. Her boss, Zufarian, draws a hammer, a war hammer. One you forged, Waldorff. And waits. It's ready for a swing should you make a charge. Yeah, that's what she's waiting for at least. Zufarian will speak soon. He prepares, but all of this is happening just so quickly. You see that wall of force form. Behind, though, you know. You've got him right where you want him. Aghi, it's safe to say you're unconscious by now.
Yep.
You're not dying, but you're quite close. You've managed to pass out, so in a sense you're stable, but it wouldn't take much to kill you. At least you feel as much. If you had the gloves, maybe you'd be in a good spot, but Valrock's got them. Nothing closed in on you. Under the hidden forge, Vesperin. What do you do?
I'm going to step here. And can I see Zufarian through the open door?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to use the rest of my actions to mark them.
Perfect. Sailix.
In a kind of stutter step, as he's heading towards Hysteria, he's going to immediately turn and head back to towards Falrock. Ready to attack him. Screaming obscenities the whole way about getting his filthy hands off of his daughter.
Excellent. A 5-foot step. Effortless. And with Leviathan, you have 2 actions. Do you attack?
Yes.
2-fold swipes. The first strike. It's a hit. The damage burns into him. He screams. You remember. Positive damage. That small blessing you were given. From Pharasma, of all people, right? Well, it burns into him just like the fire in your hand. The second sweep. It is a miss. But he's turned his attention. You threaten his life, so he can't pick at Aghi any longer. He turns to you. He attempts to grab you. in a pounce. He's shorter than you by quite a lot, but let's see. Well,
Ian.
actually, first he's gonna try to bite. Yes.
I was gonna say, if he tries to jump on Sailix, can I have a reaction of just a whip crack? Like,
Yeah.
so
A cracking.
yeah, like you
That
just
nerve
hear
whip.
the crack of, and she looks at Falrock with just like eyes of like fury. There will be no harming of the celestial in my presence, unless it's by me.
He takes a step back, an expression of confusion, but mostly anger, perhaps betrayal. That was a step initially, and then rather than a full retreat, he just takes a step again, back, trying to play the brave hero here, as a leader would, as if he were in the presence of his constituents, because after all, he does control the starved, or at least he did for a time. But he feels that this is not in his favor at all, not this situation at least. That'll be it for his turn. Back under the forge. Zufarian speaks. Now, Waldorff, you understand why I did what I did?
No, not even a little bit. But nor do I care. For either way, you are going to pay for what you did to me.
Try me, kid. He'll wink at you.
I was hoping you'd say that.
An underhanded throw. You knew he was an alchemist. The glass bottle flies in your direction. It's a miss. 31 would have hit. The natural 1 decreases the success by a step. He pulls a mace from his pocket and prepares another flask to be thrown. Hysteria. The ghoul's retreating. What do you do?
I feel like she would hold a hand, like, sort of indicating that he should stay, but, like, her attention is focused on Sailix, and she doesn't seem to care, necessarily. So, she would look at him and just be like, you seem under the impression that I'm here to, that we are enemies. Well, this is not true. I'm here to help you. You stand right now at a precipice. You are powerful, yes, but you can be so much more. I've seen it. I've heard the voices whisper to me about it. I know what holds you back. Please, let me free you. And with that, she would mutter a prayer under her breath as chains start to erupt in piercing the wings of Sailix. They seem to like pin him slightly, like holding him to a section on the ground, but it is just his wings that are hit with it. Once again, I only care about you and giving you the gifts and blessings that come with true understanding and true mastery of oneself. The girl doesn't have to continue to suffer. She's just a tool. I can even send her back to your little friends if that is what you desire. But only if you surrender to me.
I can't speak, it's not my turn.
Sailix does contemplate it, though. He'll reply in time. Back under Kovlar. Dorf. You've been attacked.
What's my range?
Not successfully.
What's my range on my
Your
throwing
range.
hammer?
You're going to take an incremental penalty. I believe your range is... let's see. I want to say... It's going to be somewhat small. You can still make an attack.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause I was
thrown
thinking
tends
that
to
I
be a
had
little bit...
stepped up a bit from where I was when I initially was confronting him.
Right.
So if I could now step forward just a bit and
Yeah.
he
Well,
is
within a
holding
range.
another vial in one of his hands, correct?
Yeah.
Can I
hammer,
target
a light
the
hammer.
vial that he's holding?
You can.
Could I try and throw one of my light hands and try and break the vial that he's holding in his hand?
Absolutely.
What do I need to roll to accomplish that?
That'll be a normal attack roll versus his AC.
A ranged attack?
Yes.
Where's my...
There, I have it as range. I'll roll it for you.
Okay, thank you. I'm still figuring all this stuff out. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, you're good. 34. However,
So whatever he was getting ready to throw at me, I want to break in his hands.
right. 34 is a miss. Hammer
Damn.
flies out, bounces on the wall of force, and then returns to you. The flash of runic dwarven magic. You have an action left. What do you do?
How close to him can I get with that action?
All the way adjacent. You will trigger an attack of opportunity from the one who wields the hammer, level to your
I'm
face.
good with that.
All right. A swing for a hit. This is not piercing, but bludgeoning damage. It isn't much, but it's a hit. You're now adjacent. That would be your 3 actions. So, Rune, what do you do?
That is a great question. He'll keep it simple. He's actually going to target the guard with. Let's see. Let's just see if I hit first of all.
Yep.
So he drags his staff along the dirt ground, lifting up pebbles and rocks. All of them just sort of hovering in the air as they form into a sort of a cluster of missiles and project towards the guard, doing some damage.
36 points of damage. Wow, okay. A good way to distract her. I believe you have an action left?
Yeah, his staff will begin spinning in front of him to act as a shield. Give him some
Excellent.
bonus.
She intends to try to break that shield of yours. She charges for you instead.
All right.
Not even concerned about protecting her boss. 5, 10, 15, 20. Over and adjacent. And the Warhammer of great make, mind you, goes swinging. 42 is a
Well, that
critical
hits.
hit. It's a weapon she doesn't
raise
seem to know
shield.
how to use very well. Oh, okay. Raise shield, so it will absorb how much of that?
I'm looking that up right now. At current level,
All right.
it looks like 20, if I'm reading this correctly.
Got it.
Yeah, 20.
All right. She's bashed through it, but only barely. You're still hit, but
The staff
You're on
clanks
your
to
feet.
the ground. The shield spell spent.
Aghi, as your eyes flit open. Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, it is just her eyes are frantically trying to find Sailix, and finally rest on him when she sees that he's pinned, just blood dribbling out of her mouth. Sailix, don't listen to her. Just go. Just leave me.
He just looks to the chains around his wings. Just
I know. She can't see very well right now.
Yeah.
it is dark.
It's dark.
Caught tightly. And then those eyes shut again. Vesperin, on your turn. You feel it. You know something's wrong. You know the direction that this wrong thing is, but you don't know what. Aghi's in grave danger. What do you do?
So, I feel like Rune would see her just kind of like he has seen her in like working professional mode, I should say. So like her features just grow like cold, and she looks at what's his name, Zulfarian, as like, this is an obstacle I have to cut my way through to get what I want. So am I in range to throw Balgora at him for an attack to teleport, or do I need to step a little bit?
15, 20, 25, 30. It would be a penalty. The penalty isn't
Okay.
that great, so you're not within a range, but you can move until, if you go into the doorway, you're within range.
Okay, so can I step here, throw it, and then end just behind him?
Yep. And adjacent
Okay.
to wherever that thing impacts. Yep.
Here.
If it lands,
Okay,
that is.
so well, let us see first.
Yep.
And Ian, I'm also going to be using my assassinate and remembering
Yes.
to use my debilitating strikes and all that other stuff.
Yes.
So hopefully
And they're
this
marked?
works. Yes.
I don't know the name of that ability. Assassin's Mark.
It's just
Or Mark for Death,
yeah.
activate ability. Yep.
I'm gonna re-roll that with a hero point.
Yep.
Because I want to murder him. Oh, come on! Alright, I'm gonna try to hit him again. That's terrible. Oh, God.
Turn it.
These rolls. Alright. Okay, so
Mind
since I
you,
missed
30
two,
is objectively good. Zufarian
Yeah.
is agile.
Mhm.
That was a duck.
Okay. I guess I'll try to hit. With my last attack, I'll try to hit the storm guard. Or wait, no, I can't. Because I think that makes my mark go away.
Give another shot. Zufarian, or move closer.
Yeah, I think I'll move closer.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll move here because I don't want to provoke an attack. I'll give Rune some backup. Although, I don't know. Yeah, here might be better. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deft.
Alright.
Sailix.
So Sailix locks eyes with Aghi, and I guess since the change of like kind of like erupting from like all around and like pinning him to the ground, he like kind of struggles trying to get forward. He does call her name though, and like trying to get her attention. Aghi, look at me right now.
Yeah, you can see it's a struggle for her to even open her eyes.
Look, Dad's got this. Zestrix, you piece of shit, it's time for you to pay your rent. Need you to save my daughter. And with that, Sailix will use Summon Celestial to summon his brother Zestrix with the intent to grab Aghi and flee away with her.
Describe what Zestrix looks like as he emerges.
So at first, it looks like a second set of wings kind of appear out behind his own in the lower side, the lower angle, as a serpentine tail kind of coils around Sailix's midsection, and a head over his shoulder as he kind of takes off through the air in a black and red streak towards Aghi.
The room as a whole, it gets darker with that. Combat is over on this side. Zestrix moves out. Falrock even begins to back away. Hysteria, would you have any business stopping Falrock from retreating?
No, I feel like she doesn't honestly care. Like,
no,
it's one of those, no, don't, stop. Ooh.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, Zestrix is here, seeming to be guarding Aghi. But Hysteria, it doesn't look like you have any desire to kill her. Now that she's held there, so go ahead.
So is Zestrix flying away with her, or
Now, well,
is
Aghi's
he
still
staying
trapped
to
in his
fight?
contraption.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's sort of defending her, it seems.
Okay.
Maybe coiling around to watch, but she's held there. She can't move. I imagine she's still immobilized here.
Yeah. She
But you recognize shadow
would
magic.
So I feel like that makes her look at Zestrix with interest, and she kind of sort of does a once over, her huge bird-like eyes staring at him unblinking before they return to Sailix on the ground. She would look at Sailix and just kind of laugh. It is sweet that you still believe there's hope. And you still believe there's hope for her. Tell me, in the state that she is, how long does your friend, how long would he be able to manifest if you were knocked unconscious? It's a long way back to Kovlar, or to Sagarok. These caves are dark. They're filled with unspeakable horrors that you can't even begin to imagine. Again, I could free her. I can send her back to that little rabble that follows you around. She doesn't belong here. She doesn't have a purpose here. But you were born of shadow. I see that now. Perhaps that's why we are connected. She has the clippers again. I once had wings like yours. I thought that the ability to fly in the sky made me above others. I was free. I could soar. I could experience the closeness of the sun in a way that all of these others never could. But I realize now, after my wings were taken from me, that I was only limiting myself by how truly free and unbound I could be. I have transcended
Rasmus,
the limits.
tits, woman. The only painful thing here is you going on and on. You want these fucking wings? He looks at Aghi again. Aghi, as he takes a step forward, slowly with a cracking of bone. That you can fucking have them. Aghi.
Yeah.
I love you. And he will take another step forward and have the chains rip his wings from his back as he kind of falls over in a heap of blood and feathers, kind of hand outstretched towards her.
If Aghi
The blood
has
is
any
jet
strength
black.
left, she'll scream.
So, what will happen is, Hysteria will sort of use the chain, again, will be muttering phrases under her breath. The blood will pool into orbs that seem to float towards her and into vials at her waist. She uses the chains to take the wings as well. And then she slowly walks to Aghi. The casual wave of her hand, she banishes Zestrix so she can look at the orc herself. How long has
Find
it been
me.
since...
Zestrix vanishes.
Ooh. It looks like it's also been a while since your last dosage. And she takes Sailix's blood and begins to put marks on her forehead, just sort of almost anointing her with it. I can see it also. The shakes in your hands, the blood in your eyes. You can barely stand, can't you? Even before the blood was shed. She would draw a little circle around and then snap her fingers. And with that, chains rise from the ground in the area where the blood was, grab Aghi, and then suck her into a vortex of some sort.
Before she does that, Sailix kind of pushes, and you can hear something sliding across the ground as Leviathan would slide next to her. And he...
I feel like there's a moment... Yeah, there's a moment where she, realizes what it is before it's, sucked in with Aghi.
Yeah, he would have waited for the last moment, and he's like, as it kind of slid over there, he's like, I'm coming back for this. Before she, gets sucked down.
Pulled away. We'll go back to that. But the fight is not yet won in this hidden forge under the wall of the peaceful, not at all corrupt city of Kovlar. On initiative, now that we're back at the top, it's Zephyrian. He realizes he's not in a good spot at all, not by any stretch of the imagination. An attack, light mace, to Waldorff. It's not his forte, but it sure is a hit. 25 points of damage. You're struck at the knee.
Ouch! Ooh!
Then a step back. He produces another bomb. You can see the reflection of the fire being lit within it in his goggles. But he's ready for you to come at him. Waldorff, it is your turn. What do you do?
What would it take for me to tackle him?
That would be an athletics check versus his fortitude DC.
I would
but
like
this environment
to,
is ripe for
How
tackling.
many actions does that take?
Well, it would be one action to step, and then another action to tackle. Which would be essentially just grab.
I would still have another action left, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would like to do. I would like to use my first two actions to step and tackle. And if that's successful, I want to beat him in the face with a hammer.
All right. So a step up. Per your skills, I will roll you an athletics check.
Thank you, Ken.
To which you're trained.
Appreciate the assistance. I am.
29 is not a success.
Oh, well, if that's not a
You don't
success,
take
then
over
I just want to hit
on
him
the
in the
grapple.
face with my hammer.
Well, you do have a hero point. If you want to try your luck at maybe getting a better roll.
Then yes, I would. I
All
would
right.
very much like to try it.
Hero points spent. 38 is a success. He's grabbed. He doesn't have
Yes!
control. You have one action
then-
left.
So I've got him grabbed, but I don't have him on the ground, correct?
You can throw him prone. You can start moving him over to the wall of force or the lava, pin him to the ground.
I would
Take the
like
potion from
to throw him prone. Actually, I want to take him prone with me on top of him.
Body slam. All right.
Body slam.
That is going to be another
Full
athletics
suplex
check.
if possible.
Oh, not quite. You still control the grapple. He is immobilized as he tries to break free without dropping this vial in his hand, mind you. Trying to slam him, but the footing is too strong. That puts you at 3 actions. So, Rune, what would you do?
Okay. Rune looks at the guard in front of him and just smiles as the shadows formed by the forge across the ground begin to sort of wrap around Rune. Faint cawing of ravens can be heard as ethereal feathers as Rune shadow steps here. And then his face grows stern, and everyone can feel the hairs on the back of their neck stand up, and there's this buzzing in their mind as just this cacophony of cawing and birds and ravens begins to flood their mind as visions, particularly within the guard and Zephyrin, they can see just this mass of black, this murder of ravens, this murder of crows just come at them with a psychic assault. They need to make a basic will save at a DC
Basic.
DC of 33.
A fail and a regular success. Zephyrian succeeds.
All right. So they will take. So one will take the full damage. Zephyrian will take half of 7d10 psychic damage.
7d10.
Yes.
2, 5, 6, 7. 7d10. Full damage to the guard. Zephyrian for half. Excellent. Both of them scream in pain. Unwell. They are. She actually drops her weapon inadvertently in a panic, but if that's your 3 actions, the first thing she does
That is.
now is retrieve the weapon, make way towards you, and attempt an attack with third action, the Warhammer. Critical success. With an untrained grip, however, it's still quite a lot. 26 points of bludgeoning damage as you are knocked right in the face. Vesprin. Go ahead.
So, Vesperin feels like a shock and then a bigger shock from the ring. And on the last, she seems to she just lets out this like guttural cry, and then looks between the guard and Zephyrian and Valgora and says, "Kill them."
Go ahead.
So let's see. Of course, I can't roll good.
That's a
Finally!
hit.
Alright, so I'd like to be behind him.
All right. Perfect.
And alright, I don't think I get my assassinate damage because he's aware of me now, which is a bummer.
Right. But you do
but
get your deadly D6.
Well,
They were marked for death.
yes.
Yeah.
So. Oh wait, so that should that be 2d6 instead of d4s? Or
Deadly
is that
D6, yes.
just added? Okay. So let's see. Crap.
So it's first 2d6 plus 7 for the actual Balgora
Okay.
damage,
Yeah.
which
Are you
I've
rolling
got
it?
to. I'll add that. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And then what else do you have?
Bleed. Sneak attack. And then, I'm gonna do precise debilitation, so that's another 2d6. So 1,
All right.
2.
Blood all around.
And
Still
then
immobilized, held in Waldorff's grip.
for my last
Go ahead.
action, I'm going to steal whatever he's going to try to throw at us.
Ooh.
Ooh. He's immobilized. You don't. That's not even a roll. You're taking an
Okay,
object
cool.
that's not really
Mine.
being tended to. It's alchemist fire or
Ooh,
something.
Okay.
You'd have to inspect it,
Well,
but in the heat of battle,
Mine
volatile.
now. Okay.
we'll return to that fight. But first, Hysteria, Sailix. Go ahead.
I see. You've already seized the keys to free yourself. This is good. Come with me. I'll teach you how to be the master of your pain, rather than a slave to it.
Sailix kind of gets on his knees, taking a deep breath. He struggles to his feet. He's like, the only place I'm going to take you is to your fucking grave. He's going to like start running at her and attempt to punch her in the face.
I feel like
All right.
this seems to like make her excited, and she just seems to start laughing.
By the way, this is also carrying that positive damage, right?
Yeah. Positive damage just comes through. The first attack it lands. You're dealing bludgeoning damage. In addition to you go for the fist of flame first. So bludgeoning, fire, positive damage in a smack. It's a hit. She laughs. Your second swing for sonic damage. She catches though and deflects it You haven't been without your weapon in quite some time. Go ahead, Hysteria.
This is good, yes! Oh, the struggle, the fire, I love it, give me more!
God, I'm gonna rip your fucking tongue out.
I'm a little scared of Jen right now. Not gonna lie.
Zufarian, under the forge, attempts to break free. And poorly. Can't manage. Squirming, trying to get out. He's flanked and probably doesn't even realize it right now. Felt a blade stick in him. Another attempt. Worse than before. He seems frightened, in a panic. He swallows hard, but just resigns to look at Waldorff, staring at him. We'll cut back to it. Hysteria, make your offer.
Sailix, I've watched you across the ocean. You turned a whole continent into chaos without even intending to. The amount of suffering you've caused just from ignorance is astounding. Just think of how much more you could do if you were able to control it, to focus it. Don't you understand? That is what I'm willing to do for you. That is what I need you. Come with me.
You notice he's not looking, he's just staring at a pool of jet black, inky substance on the floor as it swirls about. You don't know if it's your making, or his, or even the voice inside your head, but suddenly he looks up at you and returns to stare. He was in some other place, staring into that void between the two of you. Just a disc-sized pool of black, shadowy ink. You both have probably a pretty similar understanding of what that means. Sailix, go ahead.
He's gonna walk towards the disc-sized black pool and kind of kneel down towards it, dipping his fingers into it, and it looks like his hands are moving in an odd way as he looks up over his shoulder. You know, my wife's gonna kill you, and if she doesn't, my wizard will damn sure kill you.
These are these hangers
Just stand
on.
back up. It's like, but if you want to
By the end,
survive, you can leave.
I don't think so, Sailix. By the end of this, you will be thanking me. You will be so much more than you were when you started. It will be glorious. It will be beautiful. And all of those others will be so meaningless. You won't care anymore. And in fact, you will beg me to destroy them yourself.
As long as you're fucking silent.
Damn.
She would offer her hand and gesture to the pool. You know where we must go. You feel it calling to you, don't you?
He touches his lips to one of the rings on his fingers, as he grabs her hand, like doesn't grab her hand, but he grabs her like around the forearm, like his fingers just almost all the way enclosing around him and squeezing like overly hard.
So defiant until the end. I love it. Shall we take
Pool
a dip
opens.
in the pool?
He just stays silent.
It widens, and for a second you feel gravity's eased its grip on you. There's a weightlessness until suddenly you're pulled, feeling as if you're drowning, until suddenly you can make out the feeling of cold stone beneath your feet, but it is so dark. We'll return to you. Waldorff.
Yes.
Zephyrian has tried to break your grip, and he's failed. Vesperin's disarmed him. You think you might have won this. You're starting to feel the heat of that forge glowing warmly on your face. You remember that forge working tirelessly under Droskar's force, but it's different this time. You're in control. What do you do?
Just out of curiosity, what race is Zephyrian?
Half-elf.
So rather slight, we shall say. I squeeze. I'm trying to break bones. I want to try and crush his rib cage in a dwarven grip. Just sheer strength. I would like to squeeze him until I hear bones break.
Starts to crack. You remember that rage inside you, a manufactured rage, forced evil, like from the outside. Outsiders are evil in a very different way. It's unending. You don't quite feel that this time. It's a rage of retribution, but what you do see is behind you. That sea elf. She's got the same look on her face. Something unholy. She is fuming like you were once upon a time, toiling down here for the slave god, but she looks ready to kill this man. Mercilessly, brutally, and painfully. You have some time.
Don't kill him!
To react.
If
You can
kill him,
pivot.
he won't learn nothing.
You can turn your body, pull Zephyrian towards Rune. It doesn't look like she's going to listen to you unless you separate the two.
I would...
We don't have...
I want him crippled, but not dead. I want to drag him to the surface and show him to everyone. But I want his bones broken. I want him laying, bleeding, and pleading for mercy as we drag him back to the council and show them what he's done.
Maybe Balgora purrs at that.
Him exposed.
It's not my turn in combat.
Oh, but it's coming up. Rune. You notice this guard is starting to back up. She realizes this is a fight she's lost, and your friends are a lot scarier than they were mere seconds ago. What do you do?
I want that hammer back!
Rune will look at the guard, and there's this under the eye patch. There's just this glow. You. Let me make an attack roll. Rune looks at the guard, and again, one half of his body just seems to light with electricity and fire and ice. As he looks at the guard, you have made your choice. You will not be coming back this day. And he touches at it, he just reaches and just grabs at his chest with shocking grasp, doing 42 points of damage apparently.
You can describe the death there.
Is he wearing metal armor?
She is.
So he grabs at the breastplate of the metal armor, and for the briefest of moments, the guard isn't quite sure what's going on, but he starts to feel the sparks and charge of electricity between the armor and his skin, as inside the parts that we don't see just begin to bubble and burn and crisp and char. The look on his face, however, is complete horror as they realize death is coming before there's no life in them, and Moon just lets the body drop.
Excellent. Combat's ended for you all, but we will return, because I'm sure Vesperin has something to do. Actually, no. Let's do it now. Vesperin.
Okay.
Waldorff doesn't want you to kill this thing,
He belongs
but you're
to me.
fuming. Sailix's status no longer describes a location, a direction, or a distance. Which is strange, it should work anywhere on this plane. What do you do?
We don't have any fucking time for any of this. Aghi and Sailix are dead or dying. Belgora! Did I fucking stutter? So,
I intend to take my time with him
Now,
and enjoy
Belgora's
this.
dying.
you notice, Dorf, as Balgora starts to rise out of Vesperin's hand, it's not been thrown, it just starts to levitate. And move over, and slowly just points towards Zephyrian. It's going in for an attack. It looks like a cobra,
Now I still
perhaps,
haven't let
lining it up.
Zephyrian go.
You haven't.
Rune
You notice-
looks at Vesperin. What? Where are they?
I don't know. They were by the Jewel Gate, and now I don't think they're on this plane anymore. It's not telling me, but they're dying. They're fucking dying, and we're waiting here wasting time!
Call out the Citadel now! Call out the Citadel!
Let me handle him. You go.
Well, now, it looks like this
Okay.
blade has a mind of its own, Waldorff. It's going to make a strike at Zephyrian. Luckily, there happens to be a shield nearby. You know because you were working on it. You're 10 feet away, but if
I
you
wouldn't
swing
even
over...
bother. I would just put my body between Zephyrian and the blade.
I'm sorry for you.
It animates.
Yeah, me too.
It moves in with just feral haste. And it drives into your stomach. Rune, Vesperin, do you choose to react in any such way? I assume you're summoning now to get over, is that correct? You want to call
Why
the...
are you protecting me? Is your vengeance this important?
I'm not!
We have things to do!
I am protecting my vengeance.
The Vesperin! Vengeance is not important here. We have to get to our friends. Call out the Citadel now!
Valgora to me, the Citadel!
Now this is strange. Balgora didn't listen to you last time you did this, and you were banking on using her full fury. She returns to your hand. Waldorff, you're bleeding profusely. This thing doesn't allow blood to fall. It pulls it with vacuum intensity. The wound is spilling blood out of your stomach, but you're stable. You're standing, and what's more important is Zephyrian is alive. You call out to the Citadel.
Not for long.
Vesperin. Rune?
Rune does not. Not yet.
You don't. Okay, Vesperin, do you call to the Citadel?
Yeah, that's how she can get to where she needs to go.
Vesperin vanishes to the Citadel.
The point of return was the gate room.
The gate room. Interesting. You notice looking around. Why are you here, Rune? What are you waiting for?
Rune is going to use... Oh, I can't use that spell on other people. Never mind. I was going to use something. But he will cast a heal on Dorf.
Oh, lovely.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You notice some magical darkness appears in the ceiling. Starting the size of a small plate, like you remember in your little manor. Growing steadily. Make a reflex save for me, Rune.
Oh, alright.
You dodge out of the way, expecting an attack. Triad, maybe? Somebody else? No. A weapon lands embedded in the stone just in front of you, where you've dodged out of the way. Not landing so gracefully, a half-orc woman with a loud thud. She smacks into the ground. She's wounded, unconscious, but breathing. What do you do?
He will take one of the healing potions he does have, and immediately feed it, assuming that he sees that she's hurt.
Right. Dorf, you have healing magic yourself, don't you?
I do. I'm not using it though.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine you're fixated.
Is it my turn?
Dorf, get your quarry back to the town. We'll be back as soon as we can.
I think I've changed my mind, actually.
What?
I don't think he deserves a trial. I don't think he deserves another breath. And I would like to carry Zephyrian over to the edge of the forge.
No,
5,
you
10,
don't have to do this.
15 feet. Yes. Yes, I do. You tell Droskar, when you see him face to face, that I said hello.
Don't utter that name.
I'm coming for him.
Don't utter that name. The ground
You
shakes.
tell him that I am coming.
Rune starts looking at the
I drop him
ground.
into the forge.
He takes his goggles off, night vision goggles, and he drops them on the ground to look you dead in the eye. Don't. You don't have to do this. He's resisting with his feet as you pull closer, afraid of the forge. Stricken with fear, Rune, you see this. You probably have a chance to intervene, but it looks like something else is doing it for you. The ground rumbles. The lava shifts, spills over a little bit. Steam and heat. If not for magical ventilation, you guys would all be fried alive in here. But, something starts to rise out from the pit of lava. Black smoke coming from this undead creature's bald head. His maw opens, glowing light. It's bright red, brighter than the forge itself. He rises. It's a beast. Waldorff, you know this to be the forge spurned. One of Droskar's chosen. Uttering his name, probably made him quite furious, actually. He grabs Zephyrian and plunges him into the lava. Magma immediately, that scream silenced instantly. You can hear the sound of boiling water as his body denatures. In a matter of seconds, this thing rises out of the ground. I will roll initiative. But with that, we're going to cut to a different plane, I believe. Sailix.
Oof.
You're on a platform overlooking nothing. This place is familiar to you. Daria, not so much. Go ahead.
Well, you wouldn't shut up before, and now we're here, so...
You can feel it now, can't you? That part of yourself you like to pretend doesn't exist. The part you try to ignore and bury. Because you tell those chains that you keep around you. The orc woman, the elf, your wizard. All of them just bind you away from being your true self. Come, let's go forward.
He just rolls his eyes and walks forward.
So what do we see in,
This place overlooks, it's a courtyard of sorts and a balcony. The plane of shadow refuses to be measured and punishes those who attempt to do so. You, in a way, sort of see everything. Like wet eyes looking into a kaleidoscope, a realm sits before you. You can peer out, but more in the center you see so much nothingness. That shadow, that's the guarantee of this plane, is everyone gets a chance at looking at the absolute void. But go ahead.
Can you check your PMs, please?
Yeah.
Okay. And then also, do I know, Ian, that this is, the place, where her, her god's realm?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in Zovacane.
Alright, cool.
And you're in good company. This is your little corner
Oh, awesome.
of the realm. Familiar places nearby. You can hear the crying of people, the sound of chains rattling through echo chambers.
Welcome to the home of my master, the Midnight Lord. I would stick close if I were you. The things here are engineered to bring about agony and ecstasy in equal breaths. Tell me, how much do you know of Zon-Kuthon?
Nothing.
In ancient times, when this world was still young, there was a great spirit wolf called Thrawn, the prince that howls. He roamed the mountains, the forests, and the skies. He sang his feral song to the earth, the stars, and the moon, proclaiming his love of light.
Man, that's a great story. But you see, I cut my wings off so you would shut up.
You deflect with humor when you are uncomfortable and when you are out of control. A weak defense mechanism. But you should listen. For each story bears a lesson, almost as much as each scar. If you wish to survive this place, you would hear what I have to say. But if you wish to learn it for yourself, then we can carry on.
It's following you as you descend Hysteria.
The reason
You can take him. Do you wish to take him to see a friend of yours?
Okay.
But you may continue to tell him this story. But we'll cut back as you make your way down. He seems disinterested, but you have his undivided attention. Now, back at the forge, with initiative.
Yes.
Top of the order is this undead. With an action, he's moved your enemy into the dustbin, and he rises out, stepping forward, and with a great reach, he is very large. He's going to make an attack at you. He pulls his own warhammer out from the pool. It's a critical success, the attack. With great ease, he delivers this blow. 40 points of damage. Waldorff, I believe you're next on initiative with
Hey.
35. Go ahead.
Happily. I am going to go with Divine Wrath. You can channel the fear deity against foes of opposed alignment. The alignment that I am choosing is good. So anything
All right.
opposed to good is damaged. You deal 4d10 damage of the alignment you chose. Each creature in the area must attempt a fortitude save. Creatures that match the alignment you chose are unaffected. Those that neither match nor oppose it treat the result of their saving throw as 1 degree better.
It succeeds the save. It takes half damage.
Okay.
I believe the damage is of type good. It takes 21 points as this emanation rings out. Lucky for you, your friends aren't evil, so they don't take the damage. Now, of course, he's still standing and he is furious. That is 2 actions. You have an action left. What do you do?
I would like to interpose myself between it and my friends.
Heroic of you.
You deal
Especially
with
given your injuries. Well, Rune, what do you do? It's your
don't
turn.
care about my injuries.
That's a fantastic question. All right, so we have a large undead creature that has crawled out of said forge. Is that the short of it?
Well,
Yep.
roughly, yeah.
All right.
You shall not pass!
All right, we'll keep this just as simple as the first one, and Rune will his staff's still on the ground, about 15 feet away from him or so. Will just sort of put his hands out to the ground around him as debris begins to rise up and project towards the creature. Oof. We'll not have a critical miss on that. I'm okay with a miss, maybe. That's fair too.
That's a hit.
Oof.
Blast Sin, you have an action left, I believe.
He will call his staff back to him, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aghi, you're conscious. 3 weapons are on the ground in front of you.
I
do you
feel
do?
like at this moment, Aghi is just sobbing, trying to get onto her hands and knees, and just over and over again in Orc, she is just saying Sailix's name. Like, we have to go help him. But Rune's probably the only one that would understand what she's trying to say. Barely able to breathe. But she's not going to do anything this turn. Just trying to get her bearings about her.
Would you like to get up?
Nope.
You sit there, yeah, just reeling, fading in.
Yeah, I don't think it's
A lot is
even
going on. A
occurred to
mage
her
hand
that
snaps up a pair of
Mage
magical
hands.
goggles. This thing towering over Waldorff, who has stepped in front to keep you and Rune safe. He's overpowered, actually, by this, but he might not express that. This thing moves forwards, getting as close to Waldorff as possible. A smack of the hammer for a critical success. Further bludgeoning. Waldorff, you do get a hero point for making a stand. However, you're grabbed now. Or rather, this thing attempts to grab you, I should say.
He
Let's
laughs
see.
in his face.
38.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
It succeeds.
Shit.
You're picked up, and it backs away as it moves slowly into this live furnace. You're still above solid ground at least, but not for long. Should it back up any further, you'll be dangling over certain death. But it waits. It looks so patient. You remember this thing vaguely. We'll return on Waldorf's turn. But first, Hysteria. As you lead Sailix down this natural rock into the manufactured chambers, you can hear the sound of wailing, echoing, people crying, pure misery and magical darkness on tap. As you approach a chamber, Hysteria, go ahead.
Let me find it. Okay. The prince that howls had many offspring, but the two greatest were Dobral and Shellin. Each of them had a godly spark that elevated them above even the greatest of spirits. But when his son left Galarian and returned to Zon-Kuthon, the prince that howls greeted him with a joyous noise born of ages past, a noise that choked in his throat when the corrupted god bound him in razor-sharp chains and dragged him off as a plaything. For years, Zon-Kuthon tortured his own father, peeling away strips of his mortal flesh and fashioning it into minions after his own mind. Long ago, the beautiful voice was silenced, now only able to gurgle, screech, and gnash its teeth. Now, it serves the Midnight Lord, as a pet called the Prince in Chains. A fitting name, wouldn't you agree?
Sorry, what were you saying? I wasn't listening.
The ties that bind you, again, these people, they exist to hold you back from true power. But you can use that to fuel your own. You understand, don't you? The hatred you feel right now as we bloodied and beat down that girl. Think of how powerful it makes you. And how much more powerful you could be if it was focused.
Is that what you brought me here for? Some type of seminar with your Dark Lord. Look, I gotta be honest here with you. I've had better invites. I'm blessed by 3 gods.
Ah, so you are. But they have no power here. Pain is the only god worth worshipping. It's the only constant. It can both bind us and free us. All that matters is whether or not you have the sense of self to push past your own limits. What are we seeing as we're walking in?
Tortured souls in chambers. It looks like this wing of the seemingly infinite prison is dedicated to making leather from the flesh of exclusively sentient beings. With the exception of one chamber, you reach a Velstrack, as many of these denizens are, except this one is behind the bars. It's built mostly of cold machine, designed only to drive his own pain and misery, but he can break the cries and the agony to speak. He speaks directly to Sailix. Oh, hello. You are incredible, Hysteria. Bring him to me.
Hysteria would just sort of beckon Sailix, and again he feels like there is a chain that is made of shadow and pain. It seems to wrap around his neck and pull him forward.
Look, I don't know what the hell you think's going on, but I didn't sign up for this.
You'll listen, Godkiller.
I've never met any of these people before.
But you're of great import. You'd like to meet your family, wouldn't you?
You speak of blessings of 3 lesser gods, yet you do not think that they are the only ones who are interested in your fate and your future.
Do you wish to meet your mother, Sailix? He smiles. We'll cut back to that, and I'll let you ponder that. But away at the forge, Waldorff, you're being pulled in. Things are moving quickly. Everyone is reacting in a different way to try to prevent what is your ultimate doom, but you have some time. What do you do?
I am going to cast a heightened divine vessel. He starts to glow with divine energy and starts to grow from medium to large as the effects of enlarge. I gain 60 temporary hit points. I gain a 20-foot fly speed and a +1 status bonus to saves against spells. So I would like to break out of the grip of this large undead and fly up, back, and away.
All right.
As I kind of shine with divine energy from my deity.
You have a hero point,
I would like to use
but you've done very poorly. Okay. Athletics.
I'm straining to get away from this thing as I grow in size, and I am like striking at it with my fists, my hammers, whatever I have to try and break free from this thing.
Plan A doesn't seem to work. You break an arm, he grabs it again. Every attempt you make to break free, he manages to have a plan.
Could I,
Droskar tends to be that
with my
way.
fly speed, could I lift it up with me?
That would be an athletics check, and you would have to do remarkably well. This thing is massive. Otherwise, it does
Worth a
pull you
try.
closer. You know there may be a drain here somewhere, or you can attempt to fly.
A drain. In that case, is there a lever or something that I can use to open the drain?
See, lucky for you, you happen to work here. You know there is one.
Then I would like to try and throw one of my light hammers to open the drain.
As he prepares to pull you in, I'll make your attack roll. An excellent shot. It bounces off, returns to your hand, and it starts to suck in. From the middle, though, seemingly it pulls him in a little bit quicker than it even pulls in the rest of the lava.
Are those all of my actions?
2. You have one action left. You can try to break free again.
I'm torn between wanting to try and break free and wanting to use my hammer to break its face. I'll try
A
to
blow
break
of
free one more
spite.
time.
Okay.
I'll try to break free one last time.
You're
If
starting
not,
to
I
feel
will
the heat
resign myself to my fate.
as your toes touch the magma. This time he pulls you in even closer, wrapping around. He's still much larger than you. You see his maw opens up to let out a belly laugh. You feel the heat burning your face. As he chuckles, he wants to see you burn as he goes down. But Rune, it's your turn.
Let's go.
What do you do?
So Rune had pulled his staff to him, and
Yep.
again, there's this light from under the patch that just sort of glows as his face gets stern. He begins to spin the staff as it floats in front of him, his hands forming arcane symbols, and a blast comes from out of the staff and envelops around Dorf, as Dorf is now caught in a resilient sphere. He himself is unable to move, but no damage can happen to him while within this sphere. And he simply looks at the creature. That one is mine. As his hand reaches out, Leviathan pulls towards it, and he turns down and looks at Aghi in Orcish. Call out to the citadel. Get back there. I'll catch up with you. As he hands both a pair of goggles and Leviathan to Aghi. Call out to the citadel now.
Dorf is laughing maniacally as he's being pulled into the lava. Just like
You're
face
saved.
to face with this thing.
This
He
ball.
doesn't realize that at this point in time. He's just screaming, laughing into the face of this thing as he's being pulled into the lava.
Yeah. We'll return to that, but Aghi, you know the contingency. You know what you can do. What do you do?
Augie's eyes have settled on a rune that's on Leviathan, a symbol. And she will take the sword and look at Rune. I am not gonna be a useless thing that watches my friends die, and she'll charge towards that thing.
Rune, I'm going to let you attempt to stop her if you would like. You're between them.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
That is in fact.
you can. I mean, you can attempt to trip her. Even I don't. Whatever. What do you want to do?
Can I put a resilience field around her?
Yes.
In fairness, I don't have the actions to do so, but I would really like to.
No, you're there. You're doing it.
All right, that's fine.
Combat's dissolving away. The sphere pops.
As Aghi charged, Rune just goes no and slams his staff. Corvus just sort of appears out of nowhere and lands on Aghi's shoulder as she's just enveloped in this sphere, and just sort of hammers against it.
Wait, you damn wizard. So is Aghi not able to continue her charge?
You can charge. I'm pretty sure these fields will collide. You realize you can't interact with Waldorff. However, you're realizing now as you approach, the lava is forming a dome of sorts around him. This field is protecting him. I can't say the same for this forge spurned. However, he sinks in, and with it, they're still locked in, but it turns. And then later, eventually, he just gets drained into the lava, pulled away. Waldorff remains in this shield, gently sitting on the surface here. Combat ends.
Is combat over?
It is
Am
over.
I
What do you
still in
do?
its grip, or am I just like resting on top?
It's
of
no.
the
It's
lava?
so it's. Yeah, no. He sinks and eventually lets go as the force of the lava itself actually delivers him inside the drain. He disappears, and now you're sitting above. You don't know how long this thing lasts. I imagine the first thing you're going to do is get back on solid ground.
I can still fly.
But combat is over. Yes, you can, and you're still quite large.
So my divine vessel does give me a fly speed of 20 feet.
Yep.
Equal to
Excellent.
my movement, which is unfortunately only 20 feet.
Rune will do what he can to retrieve
my-
Aghi.
As a large creature, is my movement still only 20 feet?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But it looks like the
That's
threat
very, very
has been
slow.
eliminated here.
Okay. Then I am in a hamster ball of death.
Exactly.
Once they're both away from the lava, the hamster ball of death will be dismissed.
And I will fly slowly but surely back up towards the ledge. When my feet regain solid ground, divine vessel will dispel, and I will kind of collapse into a smoking, smoldering heap at the feet of Aghi and Rune, and I will collapse into tears. Honestly, he's just on his knees, weeping.
Rune,
Oh,
where's Sailix?
don't know. The Vesperin said something had happened. He's not. Go to the Citadel. You'll find her there. I'll catch up. I promise. Just call out to the Citadel.
Yeah, Aghi will call out to the Citadel.
Rune. Aghi disappears. Where do you go?
He turns to look at Dorf. You can't come back with us. You're not. It would take you too long to get there.
I don't know that I would be welcome. But I thank you. You've saved me. Hopefully someday I
You're
can
still a bit hurt, mate.
I can take care of myself. You go to your friends, I'll catch up when I can.
He touches Dorf's shoulder as Dorf feels the sense of calm and peace. In his mind's eye, he finds himself in a place he enjoys as he is healed for 17 points of damage.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
Listen,
You do
there are
realize
slaves still trying to get out. Get them back to Kovlar. We'll return as soon as we can.
I will do everything I can. And we will meet you there.
Travel safe.
You mind letting that wall down over there, though? So that we can get out of here.
As he waves a hand and all the force is dismissed. We'll see you as soon as we can.
I would
And,
extend my hand to shake before he goes.
Rune shakes it.
You are indeed...
Next time I see you, I'll get you to Poppy.
I'll hold you to that. A tear streaks down his cheek as he says that. He says, hey, I would like that very much.
I know she would too. I'm sorry, I have to go.
Hey.
As Rune calls out to the
Hammer's
Citadel.
not laying around here anywhere, is it?
Oh no, it's here. You've got plenty of stuff here.
Yes.
More on that later. Now, you said the portal, it leads to Alcetta's ring, correct? The basement of the basement.
Yeah,
of the Citadel.
the word of recall. It's targeted towards Alcetta's. Yeah.
All right. That small fountain in the middle, laid with 6 urn-shaped conduits of sorts. You appear there. Aghi has just arrived there. Vespern has been there. Vespern, you've had a couple of minutes. I take it in that time, pretty much all you could have done is retrieve Varys from a bedroom up top. Varys is down there below with you in his chair. Wilford is there as well. But he's confused. He's drowsy. He had just woken up by the looks of it. What are you telling him right now? As Aghi and then Rune arrives some seconds later.
Do I feel where he could be at all, or is it just still like nebulous, like
Nebulous. It's not. He's not planner.
But he's alive, right?
We'll say yes. He is alive.
Okay.
I would say
And
you can sense he is alive.
The other question is, do I have roughly an idea where they were before he blinked out?
You know that they were in the same direction that Jewel Gate is in.
Okay.
Because he's visited Jewel Gate before, and you verified that that was the right direction. He went to drop Varys off earlier today, even, and that was the direction and distance he was in. He was last at Jewel Gate, is your guess.
Okay. So, yeah, like, I feel like, again, she is so focused, she's not even using her, like, Kintargan accent anymore. She's just full on, like, alright, I don't know where they were. They were roughly right outside of Jewel Gate. We have to go now. And then, like, I imagine, like, Aghi shows up and she's just like, oh my god! Are you okay?
Aghi does not look okay. You can see that.
Okay.
Just bloodied and stained, but she's clutching Leviathan in her hand.
What happened?
I don't know. It was a trap. Falrock. This best friend. I can't feel Sailix. Where are they? Where is he?
I don't know, but we will find him. What I need
His
from you,
wings.
don't think about
Best friend,
that
she
right
took
now.
his wings.
Aghi, look at me. I need you to focus right now. We can cry it out later. We can have it. We can drink it out. We can fight it out. I don't care. We'll do whatever you need. But right now, I need you here with me. Do you understand? You can do this, okay? All right. We're gonna go where they last were. Maybe we can find some clues for wherever the fuck they went now. All right?
Where's Leviathan?
Varys
Came
is
out of
here.
Jewel Gate in Augie's hand.
And I
There's something
promise
written
you,
in jet black blood. You've seen this in Sailix before. You couldn't tell. The lighting was weird. It happened in Cowling once. His blood leaked. Black as magical darkness. And there's something written. It looks like Celestial by the line work. Does anybody read Celestial?
I do.
Hmm. I imagine Rune can as well. One way or another.
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says, Colleen, to be your hero, take care of her.
Is this translated to her?
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
That's Hmm.
That fucking idiot.
What do you do?
Does Rune arrive?
Yeah, Rune arrives right now.
Okay.
Aghi.
We gotta go
Where is
back.
he?
We can beat the shit out of him together, okay? But for right now, we need to go find him.
What, where's Sailix?
Not in this plane.
We were at Jewel Gate and I don't know.
You can't feel him?
No.
He's alive.
Where's
Check
Varys?
the rings if you'd like. Varys is in his chair in Alcetta's ring beside Vesperin.
Rune will just pass by Aghi, just putting a hand on her shoulder, heading over to Varys.
What?
Do you mind?
What?
Where are we going?
Just need you to open the gate. Gotta get to the other side as quickly as possible.
His mechanical chair turns to the gate, Jewel Gate. He knows it now. He produces the gem he's been instructed to use if he needs to get through. Where is he?
Gonna find out. Is he holding the, Eye of the Wise?
No, he has a different crystal. You've learned... He, as having been afflicted by this mysterious disease, as well as Sailix, they can open this gate with a crystal, any crystal, it seems, or at least the crystals that they have. The two that Sailix pulled that were of import, that allowed him to do this before, they both work for this.
Is the
Is
Eye of the
that
Wise still
magical?
attached to Leviathan?
Yes, it is.
Good.
Milky black. Actually, and now that you look, it looks strange. Like a globe. A crystal ball, almost. What do you do?
Aghi, may I see Leviathan, please?
There's something wrong.
Something's a bit different, yeah.
Is it in the hilt that this gem is?
Yeah, by the hilt there's a housing that holds this gem. Fit perfectly in place.
What are you doing,
see
wizard?
things in
Do we
there.
have time for this?
Vesperin, you see it as well if you're close enough.
The Eye of the Wise might be a window to its true owner.
Now
Does
she's
anything
looking
happen
at
when he
it.
touches it?
May I see it, please?
Yeah, touching it does nothing. And Rune asks to see it, but you do now see an image. It's painting a picture for you. Somewhere inside. That milky, dark glass. Aghi, do you hand it over?
No, I feel like she's fixated on it. She
Yeah.
looked like she was about to hand it over to Rune and then just freezes. Her eyes just staring.
Rune will attempt to take it, but not forcefully. Just see if she's willing to give it up.
Grabbing
She
a pole.
looks up at him. Just fucking look.
I know. I think I have an idea, if you'll let me give it a try.
Yeah, almost reluctantly she'll let go. Her fingers just trailing the blade.
Yeah, he'll take Leviathan, specifically holding the pommel up to peer into the Eye of the Wise. And so right now Rune's theory is that the Eye and the Leviathan already have an owner and have chosen them, and that they are very clearly aligned with whatever shadow magic that Sailix has been using. He is going to hope that the Jewel Gate, using the Eye of the Wise, will go to a different place. Since the Jewel Gate is the only extraplanar magic that he knows of right now, he's going to see if he can align the Jewel Gate to whatever attunement the Eye of the Wise has gotten to with Leviathan.
Well, what if we did that, but in the Dream Gate? Because with the Dream Matrix, we could maybe make a gateway there using the eye as a focus.
Because the Eye is a jewel, and this is the Jewel Gate.
This is fascinating to you, Rune, except you see Sailix in that gem. He's in a room with a woman you've never met and a man you hope you'd never meet. This great beast of machine and tortured flesh. They're walking along down a hall, you see, speaking about something. You can look closer if you would like, but there seems to be a strange pull to it.
If he feels a pull, he does look closer, but he's going to make sure that his compatriots, specifically Aghi and Vesperin, are within touching distance in case he feels a pull.
Right. Of course.
And he will be fully describing what he sees, by the way.
Now, Vesperin, as Rune describes this, what he's seeing, you can look in as well. Rune, as you peer in, you're invited, it feels, to transport your perception, your vision, to see through the eyes of something there. It's a panorama you see inside this small crystal. You can only get so close to look into it. The details are still so vague from bird's eye view. If you'd like, you can close your eye and open it. to see from a better perspective, not to be transported. You don't feel that.
Yeah.
Not with what you detect here.
He will be calling upon his relic to steal his mind as best as it can. But he will accept the vision and the sight. Continuing to describe what he sees, and he's actually specifically describing that something is allowing him to peer inside the gem or wherever they're at, and he's going to follow it. Well, actually, let me say this. Rune will look to the Vesper and Aghi. Something is allowing me to see whatever is inside this gem or wherever it's peering. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to stay near you two in case something happens. Alright? I will describe everything I see as best as I can.
I'm going to be perfectly fucking clear. I'm going to brutally eviscerate anything that comes between me, Aghi, and getting Sailix back. So don't worry, you'll be safe. Nothing will touch you.
He nods, and he will accept the access to sight.
Let's take it in then. Hysteria, Sailix, you've been walking back to the cliff in Zovacane, Zonkuthan's domain, some forlorn corner of it at least. It's quite quiet in here, relatively speaking. You can still hear the howling. It's enough to haunt somebody's nightmares for a long, long time. But you ignore it because this man refers to himself as a doctor. He tells you a story. But it's much the same as the story Hysteria taught. He asks you a question, Sailix. What then would you do to protect the ones you love, Godkiller?
Sailix will lean in and be like, why don't you fuck around and find out?
You are incredible. You don't realize it yet. I know things that would unravel your world. Oh, we have a visitor. Patience, your friends are quite kind to you. You do not deserve it. A floating eyeball. A mutant of flesh. You heard whimper as it hovers along, little chains dangling and hovering about, and it twitches to look at you. This thing is a creature designed only to experience sentient, self-inflicted pain. But suddenly the whimpering stops, and its teary eye shuts. And it opens, no longer the vertical slit of this alien creature. You recognize this eye. It's runes. You've looked into it before. No words, though. He simply watches. The pain is stopped, and he hovers above to observe the surrounding area.
That's not creepy at all.
Hysteria, go ahead as you make your way back to that cliff.
Are we at the place where we can view memories and stuff yet, or no?
Yeah, back to that platform. You just had to retrieve your old friend there.
I feel like she would like look at the orb and sort of make a gesture, making it spin for a second before just like letting it do what it will. Maybe it's good that your friends see this. They know who you are, how much you've hidden from them. That they see you the way we see you, so they can understand how much you've been holding yourself back. Look into the pool, Sailix. Tell me what you see.
Sailix leans over. I see me plunging my hand down your throat and ripping your heart out through your mouth.
So
But-
little foreplay. How like a man.
Excuse me?
The Velstrak. The Velstrak watches, hovering over, calmly though. This thing isn't in pain anymore, it's simply observing. Looking around the place, observing the view. The great panorama, it shoots out in all directions. That kaleidoscope effect. But then, of course, in the center, there's that void. The man, towering in his size because of the machines that hold him up, suspend him in pain, he walks up. It's time. Hysteria. Show him.
So I feel like at this she would just grab him by his hair and then force his head towards the pool.
Do you look in, Sailix?
Yeah, I guess after a few quits, you know.
Warm light, actually, reaches your face. You see a vision. Cornugia. A winding labyrinth. You left that place behind years ago. You were two people. Once upon a time. Of course you couldn't forget. Over a century of that. But you weren't. You were one. The thing Zestrix did, he did as you. Sometimes you didn't remember them. To black out, it was a luxury. And it was one you're not afforded this time. You see yourself in the maze. Delivering the last blow to Kellen. You don't remember this, you simply woke up to it. That hammer, you didn't know at the time, was Kirchanis. He got to watch this great act of sin in a realm of pure evil. But this realm did not deliver that evil, it was you. You killed Kellen with your bare hands, not with one blow, perhaps 100. Some of your friends heard it as they were winding through this maze, lost. But by the time they return, they only see you standing there. You remembered and you recalled it to be Zestrix. But you see it as you. The memory fades and you feel yourself shift. The stuff you let go of, it's coming back to you. You feel a darkening. The coldness touching your face. Rune, Vesperin, and Aghi. By the wizard's description, Sailix begins to shift. Those crystals on his face, a horn of red, gems of blue and green along his cheek, into his jawline, they turn a jet black. some shiny, some matte, all a void, and he seems unfazed by it. Sailix, you look over many other memories. Some of them you recall, but this one, there's one that stands out to you. It's from the very beginning. Your earliest memory. And it hovers right in front of you. Do you touch it?
Yeah.
We'll return to that. Rune, you've been describing this. Vesperin and Aghi, you get a vision. You can see some of it from Leviathan, but the details are much more grim. Coming out of Rune's mouth, he sees it from up close. You have a moment to talk. As Sailix falls into a trance again, he's reviewing another memory.
How do we get there, wizard?
It's on the plane of shadow. I can touch it, but I can't. I don't know how to get there. I don't even know where there in the shadow plane he is. It's like
get there.
It's like the labyrinth we were in before, and going through the dream gate. It could be anywhere.
But if you get us there,
Can I mean, I can try with the jewel gate and the Eye of the Wise. I just don't know if it'll work.
We have to try.
Try something.
Varys says.
I completely agree. Quick question: since Rune can see Sailix, can he cast telepathic bond?
Yes. It's about sight, is it not? Yes.
I believe so.
Because psychically, you are present in the auger there. So yes, you can.
Well, here's the interesting part about it. And this is going to get wonky. Because Rune is in effectively two places at once, the bond will allow him to link up everybody that's in this room in a telepathic connection. Is that possible?
I want you to try.
I will try. So
Okay.
Rune will close his eyes and he begins muttering an incantation, a little bit more drawn out than he usually is, as he touches the Eye of the Wise, and then turns and looks at Aghi and the Vesperin. And in the middle of his incantation, he looks at two of them. Do you allow me to cast a spell upon you?
yes.
Yes.
Vesperin would take
And
Aghi's
with that,
hand.
with that, at the very least, Rune, Aghi, and the Vesperin can all talk to each other, as now he begins to focus more on the space on the other side of the Eye of the Wise, and see if he can create that connection with Sailix, the Godkiller.
And we'll return to that. We'll catch up in just a second. This mechanical man, the polite one, he strides up to this cliff edge, and the grip of his machine holds him suspended. He can lean over, and he looks at Sailix. I am not certain you're ready for this memory, Godkiller. It seems your friends would like to speak to you. You turn your head the other direction, you see this augur Velstrak. It's peering over. You know it to be Rune, and you feel that connection into your temple. A bridge. It wishes to communicate with you telepathically.
Sailix will allow it in before, like his hands like hovering in front of the memory. Sailix speaking. How may I help you?
I have a lot of words to say right now, but there are two more people here who I think have more important things to say.
Where the fuck are you?
Occupied.
I'm going to find you.
Right, love. I know that. Bit busy. I don't bother you while you're at work. Trying to stay alive.
Sailix, we can't help if we don't know where you are.
That makes two of us. I think the skeletal bird bitch next to me said something about Zon Kathan's lair.
The Lord of Midnight.
The one and only.
Sailix, whatever willpower you think you have there, they will break it. That is his specialty.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just throw this out there saying, I'm not here because I want to be. I didn't just
What can we
hop
do?
on by because I felt like I wanted to visit the Lord of Pain.
Sailix. Please let us help you. We will find you. We love you. We need you. Okay? So don't fucking give
I'm
up
guessing they've allowed this to happen.
and don't do this bullshit, okay? Not
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
no, they know that you guys are here right now, so.
Good. Then I need you to do me a favor. There is a weapon here that is yours. It belongs to you. It's connected to you. I need you to call out for it.
I would, but the way that she looked at it when I gave it to Aghi before she went away, it's probably best if it's not near me right now.
We can't get to you
No.
without it.
I'll fucking cut her heart out. Call its name.
Look, probably best if you guys don't see the next part. And he grabs the memory.
Oh no.
Oh, this is going to go poorly. I can feel it.
Sailix falls to his ass when he touches it. His head just slumps back, I imagine hysteria. Grabs him just so he doesn't, fall into the endless void below. And lets him indulge
Like
in
a
this memory.
loving caress.
1,000 years of pain is told in the ancestors' lives that led to Sailix's creation. Some of it he already knew. His heritage, complicated as it is. Tavel, his father, he sees him falling in love with Sans. His mother, he knows only the name, vaguely what she looks like. That's where he gets his white hair. Except the rest seems intentionally omitted. Blacked out. You're being blocked. You try to watch, and nothing appears. This memory is for you to see, and yet someone prevents you. I mean, you couldn't imagine it would be hysteria after everything she went through to get you here. What do you do?
Try harder. Like, throw all of his willpower behind it? I don't know.
Anything to say, Hysteria?
Can you repeat what the last bit was that he saw? Sorry.
So he saw nothing. Everything went black. A screen to tell a story. Visions of people coming into frame. And suddenly nothing. Every time he goes to look at his mother, a void over her face. A thick, black ink blot covering it. He can't see her.
Why do you hide from the truth, Sailix?
Am I like semi-conscious? Am I thrown from the memory?
Oh yeah. You're conscious. You're experiencing both of these at the same time. You can stand if you would like.
Yeah.
You're
the pool,
Hysteria's like holding him.
The pool of memories that this memory floated up from, that's still in front of him, right?
Yeah, it is.
So he stands up and he just kind of walks over to the pool and he looks back towards Hysteria. It's like, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? He jumps into the pool.
What?
A voice calls from far behind, in some chambers on the far end. Grab him. Hysteria, I imagine you do it with ease.
Oh yeah, she just grabbed him with her whip.
Can he make an
Hold
attempt
in.
to pull her in with him?
You can make an attempt, an athletics check, to initiate a grapple. I imagine you're quite frustrated right now.
Oh yeah.
39, I believe, beats the DC. Allow me to check. It does. You're not pulled in, you're both locking in. It's combat. Now, and Alcetta's ring, Rune, I think you're uttering a prayer.
He is, but a bit. It's less of a prayer, more of just a plea. Very quietly.
Yeah.
Lady of Death, I have insulted you. I have defied you. But there is one among us who has sought to serve you as best he can. One that seeks to bring death to a god so that they may be brought to your river and cycled anew. I ask that you help him out. Give him some strength of will to withstand whatever's happening.
Vesper, I imagine you're praying, albeit maybe even
Yeah.
silently, in this moment.
Yeah, I feel like she's too afraid to put her into Phrasma right now after everything. But, she's, basically sort of has this, running chant in her head of just, to Calistria, that's basically either, I'm giving you everything I have, I want my, vengeance against this thing, or, basically, I don't care, either, smite that bitch, or put me in a place where I can smite that bitch. Either way, let me at him.
How about you, Aghi? You've got Leviathan in your hand. Varys is waiting by Jewel Gate. Has no idea what the plan is. He's waiting to be useful. What do you do?
Well, runes seem to think that Leviathan could be a key to getting there. So she will just pull the sword and walk towards Jewel Gate.
The sword. Walking to Jewel Gate.
Yeah, she's been oddly quiet the whole time.
We'll just
Man.
watch.
Yeah. Vespa's just following her like a shadow.
It darkens, and you see the magic from the gem pull out onto the gate. But it seems so superficial. A thin film over mirror image of Sailix, albeit a bit scrawnier. You see Zestrix, pale-skinned celestial with long black hair. His antithesis, his enemy, his twin. He stares at you, all three of you. You're doing this wrong.
And fucking tell us how to do it so that we can get there.
Leviathan belongs to Sailix. He must summon you. I'm sorry.
Can I
we
pass that
still-
message directly from Zestrix to Sailix through the telepathic bond?
Yeah. Sailix, you're wrapped up. Hysteria, you see a pair of glowing eyes. Off in the distance, Doctor, as he calls himself, he scurries away. You hear them grinding, poorly lubricated mechanics whirring as he scurries into a dark corner. Moving out. Slowly, you see chains. Prehensile, they just wrap on the floor. They're crawling around. It almost reminds you of a squid, but this thing is a quadruped, simply bound in this massive chains, and it is massive. Maybe 40 feet across. There's no light, so you can hardly make out any image, but you see white fangs, glistening, glowing. You never listened to the story.
I listened plenty to the story.
Hysteria
Thrawn.
just bows.
What do you know of Thrawn?
The
You
one you
recognize the name.
tortured?
Hysteria mentioned it. The one I tortured. He walks out. He's the image of a wolf bound in chains. As he moves forward. Rune, you do see this, by the way. As the augur, you can move wherever you please. But he moves forwards towards Sailix. I know your mother quite well. She's alive. You have so much power here. Your blood. Look at it. Sailix, those chains you keep on your person, they move, they shift at your whim. What do you do?
At the mention of like him saying so much power, Sailix would, and seeing the chains move, like on his own call, Sailix would Sailix would wrap the chains around Thon's throat and start constricting him.
You wrap the chains around the throat of this creature before you, correct?
Yeah.
The chains lock up, but this beast, you see, moving out even further, it's covered in chains. Some moonlight artificial streaks in. You're the size of one of its limbs. And it moves up, almost playfully, up the rocks to the edge of the cliff to observe you. Its own chains covering the floor, moving out in all directions. You insult me. I'm the herald of this realm.
Meh. He's going to
You hear a message. You hear a message telepathically. Again, they seem to have let you have this moment to speak, but Rune, go ahead.
Sailix, call your weapon. Kill the god. Godkiller.
Fine. Sailix will, like, with the hand that is wrapped around the whip that's holding, like, that Hysteria has, he's going to try to yank that, like, to kind of, like, throw her into the pool without him. When his hand flies back, like, in that yanking motion, he will call for Leviathan.
A bridge opens. The second you call, you feel it lifting. Leviathan has a strange property about it. It resists gravity. It denies it. And with it, it tends to have a sense of weightlessness to it. Your arm feels the same as it rises up, but this time back. You can see Hysteria plummets below and vanishes into the abyss. The bridge opens up, and off in the distance, in the center of this void, a portal with it. Aghi, Rune, Vesperin. Jewel Gate dissipates. On the other side, pure darkness. Aghi, you can't see, but you have goggles. Now.
Put some on.
Rune goes.
Sailix. Maybe 50 feet from you. What do you do? Rune's on the move.
Immediately head
That's-
straight in.
Yeah. That's for in, like, flat out.
And you make your way to the other side. Quite quickly. Leviathan doesn't fly. It doesn't teleport. It doesn't even dance over to Sailix. Instead, it waits. Aghi, you deliver Leviathan. You approach beside him. What do you do?
Aghi will hold out Leviathan. Or no, she'll let Leviathan fall and just hug Sailix.
Sailix, what do
He
you do?
will he will give her a quick embrace as he picks Leviathan off the floor and he's like, standing up. Pleasantries will have to wait. Colleen, Daddy's got to go to work. He'll step forward with Leviathan in his hand and look at the avatar or the chain-bound wolf, and he's like, I was told I was here to kill a god. You're the only god I see.
I'm no god, Sailix. I'm your mother's father. Strange. The spirit of a wolf. And that weapon belongs to her. You see, we're both in the search for sons, huh?
And he does get closer. If anybody wishes to do anything, they can. He waits so patiently. This wolf is skinless, covered in splotches of leather and chains rolling out. Go ahead.
Runa, as he was walking through the gate, was beginning a spell, wrapping up here as immediately his skin ripples with a sheen of gold scales as his bones shift as he grows in size to a large dragon, gold dragon, and bellows.
Vesperin is like just on Sailix, right? And it's one of those things where like he probably didn't even notice she was there, but she's just in that mode of like complete and utter focus. There's bloodluster in her eyes as she's studying the creature before her, with that intent, assassin's focus. She has Belgora at the ready in front of her, like just waiting for like Sailix to move in any way or anything to come at him and Aghi. And yeah, if I can get it pre-action, totally marking it.
I'm not your battle. I'm Zon Kuthon's herald. To think you can kill me. Yet. Mockery. We can speak. Sailix. I know the prophecy. You will kill a god. No such god could be found here. They want your blood. You were a mistake. Your mother was a mistake. Seek her. Not me.
That sounds like fear. Run, dog. Run.
This isn't over. My green son.
He bows his head. What seems to be submission. Suddenly the portal gets much brighter after becoming darker for a time. An eclipse of sorts before it opens up. You see Alcetta's ring on the other end. As he ducks away, Sailix, you see the father of the mother you never met. He falls back, retreats. The prince in chains, as Hysteria referred to him. He makes his way back into the cave. Suddenly this realm, it seems quiet for a time. That memory is still nearby somewhere. What do you do?
So Sailix will walk over to the pool and the memories, and
Yeah.
he'll kind of plunge his hand into the memory, trying to grab it. You said the crystals were memory based, right?
The crystals are based on memories. The physical manifestation of memories, according to old Dwarven and Elven lore.
Would it be a way to try and like capture it in a crystal? Because I feel like if I take it from here, it's gonna like fall in the fluid.
Instinctively, how would Sailix feel he can physically capture a memory? Describe what you do.
He kind of puts his hand out underneath of the floating orb, and that black fluid that the crystals on his face turned into kind of swirl around the bottom of it, and manipulate their ways up the side, like imprisoning it in almost like a cage before slowly enveloping it all together and falling back down into his hand. As it touches his skin, the black crystals kind of sprout up in a gauntlet up his left hand, which shows the blue glow of the sonic arm underneath of it.
You notice now, Hysteria had fallen into the void and vanished into the darkness. This augur dissipated as Rune and Aghi, Vesperin appeared. Rune is in the form of a great gold dragon. Waiting, it seemed to have terrified your grandfather. Or confuse him. Or something. This wasn't a fight he wanted to engage in. He's left you alone and with a chance to go home. You have this memory, but you haven't opened it yet. But you see someone else. Your twin brother, who's done unforgivable things. He's standing there, in full manifest, here in the plane of shadow. He looks at you.
We should
Mother.
go.
Sailix, you know where you can find me. I'll be here.
Don't worry, little brother, I'll be back. And we'll find Mother.
Well, you know how to reach me, should you need me.
Right. Watch out for grandfather. He's seems like a pleasant being to be around.
Just wait till you meet grandmother.
Oh, shit.
He dissolves into the shadow. There's nothing left here for you. This place is a carcass of cold bitterness. You start to hear the wailing outside again, but there's warmth on the other side of that portal, light beaming in. I'll set his ring.
Through the portal. Go.
Sailix starts walking towards the portal.
Vesperin will take Aghi by the hand and walk with them.
Yeah. long before you arrive. But yeah, go ahead.
Rune will scrape a claw along the ground, picking up debris from the shadow plane, taking it with him through the gate.
That's instance.
As they hear Sailix hears Rune doing that, he'll look back at him like looking almost offended. He's like, as if I wouldn't have grabbed you something while I was here.
I don't know how often you think of me.
Every day. He walks through the
Here's the
gate.
Citadel.
Passing through the threshold,
There's
Rune will shift back to his normal form.
Excellent. You return then to Alcetta's ring. The portal, the gate you've hijacked for this magic to take you to the plane of shadow. You emerge from. These threats that piled on one by one, they're all gone. It's Sailix, Vesperin, Rune, Aghi, Leviathan, and Balgora. Varys is there too. He looked worried. Half to death, Will is standing in the corner. He's shut down. You expect it by now, especially after the war. Leaning on a wall, Rune has a little office nook. You're not dead, brother.
Not for lack of everybody trying.
I don't know where to begin.
Could you start by... And, like, Sailix just kind of falls over.
I feel like
start by
Vesperin
passing out.
I feel like Vesperin grabs him before he falls over. She does that
Rune
with
goes
like
to
elf tape on.
Rune goes to Aghi, and in Orcish. Are you all right?
Aghi like opens her mouth to respond, but then just shakes her head and doesn't say anything.
Go be with your family.
Right.
Come on,
Let me know if you
love.
need anything. Any of you.
Help me put your father to bed, and then we'll have us a chat, yeah?
Yeah.
Rune.
I'll be heading back to Kovlar.
Some of you might remember half the city in the last hour seems to be revealed as corrupt. Of course, it's an exaggeration, but that's not how it feels. One of the regents is gone. Kelda. She's on this side, in hiding from the Triad. At least one of them is revealed to be corrupt. He's rotting in prison. Do you imagine the leader of the Guild of Arms is in the process of hanging the corrupt guards, but nobody even knows just how extensive the damage is. There could be a civil war in Kovlar, for all you guys know. What do you guys do?
Rune will look at the family in front of him. I'll be heading back to Kovlar to help Dorf settle things.
You should
I'll be,
get something from Kelda to you know, prove that we didn't do it in.
yeah, I was going to get her counsel and see if she either wanted to come with me or pass some message along.
I don't know if it's safe yet to send her back info, not without knowing what she'd be what the vipers are that are still hiding. But she's got to know the rest of them well enough. So memories, passwords, only things that the others would know. That would do it.
We'll be back in a few days to see if a lot of you want to rejoin, or if you're well enough to do so.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll be ready to go.
No, a few
You're gonna-
days.
You're gonna get some fucking sleep if I gotta tie you down to the bed and make you.
We have things to do that are more important than sleep.
This isn't about the things we have to do, Sailix. Someone watched you get tortured. You should probably help her out.
It's not just about you.
No one was saying
The
it
killing
was.
of gods can wait a day. Or 3.
One and a half, and I'll go a little lower. Or higher. Yeah.
Since I'm your way there, you can just wait.
Yeah, I can just walk through the gate. I am the key.
You can't
You
if
could.
you can't if you're unconscious.
Aghi, take care of yourself, alright?
She just nods. Aghi still doesn't look very good.
Moon will grab out a staff, and there's a bit of a glow, and everyone in the area will be healed. By a grand total of 35 points.
Ooh.
Rune, do me a favor and tell that idiot dwarf it was nothing personal. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you got your wish anyway. You killed him.
What?
Yeah. His need for revenge took the better of him, apparently.
Oh! Dwarf is still alive.
Dorf is alive, yeah.
He's not dead. Okay. You
No.
had me worried for a second. I don't give a fuck
The
about the other
quarry
one.
was
I
killed.
just- Okay.
The quarry was
I
killed.
don't. Okay.
Yeah. Go, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in a few days. Rune will begin
after we-
to cast teleport.
All right. Where are you teleporting to?
His room and the inn.
Excellent. And as you arrive
Well,
at the
actually,
inn-
no, because it would only have been a few minutes, right, since we left, yeah?
Yeah, it's only been a few minutes. You imagine Dorf is
he'll
only
go back to the-
now emerging.
He'll go back to the forge.
You arrive at the forge. It's quiet. Hum of the fire. Dead bodies all about. A hammer. That Dorf said he was going to get. It's gone. And Dorf isn't here either. The forge has been drained as well. But you hear shouting. Far upstairs.
Can Rune make it out?
Yeah, it sounds like Dorf.
He'll send Corvus to go scope it out to make sure everything's alright. Rune will take a few moments to inspect the forge.
Excellent. And we will get back to you with that. Aghi, a lot has happened just now. And you're met with the quiet. What do you do?
He just sits down and just buries her face in her hands, just trying to take away some of the sensations of everything that's going on, almost unable to handle the quiet all of a sudden, and just sits there.
Vesperin would sit beside her and put an arm around her shoulder, and she wouldn't say anything. Just kind of let her, set the pace of everything. And she'd look at Sailix and kind of pat her other side.
Yeah, so where is she sitting at?
Just on
Varys?
wherever.
Aghi? Where? Who?
Yeah. We're all in Alcetta's ring still, right?
Yeah. Sitting about.
Yeah, I guess Sailix would go over and sit next to her and just kind of put his arm around her. He wouldn't say anything because, what do you say in these situations? He'll just kind of be quietly there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She'll actually flinch when Vesperin first touches her, but then just lean into them both. And probably just fall asleep. It's just she's hyperventilating, sobbing for a moment, and then it just slows, and her breathing finally evens out, and she just sleeps.
Yeah, when she knocks out, Sailix wouldn't even say anything. He'll just kind of look to Vesperin as he picks up Aghi and carries her upstairs to her room in the Citadel.
I don't think we should leave her alone tonight. With whatever she saw. And Vesperin's eyes would look at the remnants of Sailix's wings. Just kind of flinching slightly at the sight. But Sailix would recognize that the look is less one of recoil and more of just one of that shame. He recognizes that this is something she's blaming herself for. I don't want the first thing that she sees when she wakes up to just be darkness. So.
Right, no, didn't plan on it, but got it.
And I'm also not letting you out of my sight neither.
Oh, you see, that one's more non-negotiable as he kind of shadow steps away.
We'll fade with that one. Seems like the Lavendils have the Citadel for the night. Despite the tension, there's relative peace. At least no more bloodshed. Now, up the stairs, Waldorff. He's brought a score of slaves, they seem to be from all over, to freedom. They haven't even seen Kovlar, yet they've been here for countless months. He examines them, eyeing them up, seeing which ones can fight. They all seem pathetically weak now. except for one. Mr. Smith, go ahead and describe Dorian.
Dorian stands about 6'2". Maybe 6 even. Bit hard to tell. His hair is jet black. His eyes, the skin pale white. But he's got a lean musculature.
Waldorff, you're speaking with Grokar Hammersong. Quite the stereotype as far as dwarves go. He's been rounding up the corrupt guards. He is so furious he can't even decide what he wants to do with them yet. But as he sees you emerge from where you know the Hidden Forge to be, he had no idea this thing even existed. But he approaches you. He trusts you now for what you've done. It seems you've been having a conversation about war, but Dorian has doubled back. He approaches you as you speak of war, of anger towards Sagarak, the Unspurned, and the Scarlet Triad.
Is there war you speak of? A battle to be held.
You're Solomon, aren't you?
I am always told to dwarves.
Aye. It is time for us to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. We've got them on their back leg. Enough sitting around, talking and making nice with our enemies. It is time for us to press our advantage and move forward into Sagarak. And
I do not need to hear your speeches. Give me a bow. Help me find mine, and I will win you your war.
I like the way you talk, my friend. All right. Enough words. It is time for action. Are you with us?
Help me find my bow, and yes, I will be with you.
I mean, do you mean any bow? Or is this a specific bow?
A blood letter. It is a bow. It is my bow that was taken.
I know that feeling. We'll find it for you. We'll find it together.
That hysteria bitch took it.
Oh. She took more than that from me, that's for sure. Don't you worry, lad. We'll find it.
What is your name, dwarf?
Oh, you're not too far off with that. My name is Waldorff Skysteel, but my friends call me Dorf, and I would like to count you among them.
Very well, Master Skysteel. Lead the way.
They look at you. You have authority, it seems. Your presence legally in the city of Kovlar is measured in minutes, not even hours or days, and yet they look up to you. Because in this chaos, this panic, this city reeling from the news, it hit so recently. Only today they found out Kelda had been murdered, only to realize she hadn't been, and now you have your own guard. You're walking out with almost 24 freed slaves, Waldorff. They look up to you. Even the leader of the Guild of Arms, they look up to you.
I would look to Hammersong and then look around to everyone else and realize what weight has been placed on my shoulders. Just kind of sigh heavily and then steel my resolve and nod. All right then, so be it. Follow me.
And you head into central Kovlar, where people wait. A quarter of the guard are lining up, the corrupt ones, calling them maggots, preparing them for punishment or imprisonment. They haven't decided yet. Rune emerges from the secret entrance underneath the wall. Rune, what do you do?
Going to look for a dwarf, actually.
All right.
I would, when I see the corrupt guards and whoever seems to be in charge of the decision to either imprison them or whatever, I would just simply shake my head and I would grant them a swift death. Kill them all.
Rune, you would arrive in time to watch this. Executions. Mercy killings.
Mercy.
It isn't. No one's spared.
Waldorff. What are you doing?
I'm giving them the release that I was not given. I'm doing them. I am granting them mercy by giving them none.
Killing is not mercy, mate.
Do not question me here. You don't know the things that I have seen these men do. This is the only fate they deserve.
I will not pretend to know what you went through, but don't let it change you so much. Don't be cruel about it.
Oh, no. Trust me, my friend. Cruelness would be letting them live. These men, and trust me when I say this, these men don't want to live with the things they've done. Neither do I.
You were saved. They could be too.
Rune, you can make a religion check if you would like. These dwarves, they say a prayer to Magrum before they released them. You did hear.
Do you
Oh, yeah.
really think that you could trust these men? Do you really think that you would have these men at your back and trust them to save your life?
Whoa. Don't misconstrue my words. I didn't say we trust them. I simply said they could be saved.
Dorf
I mean, we trusted you, yeah?
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you?
I trust you. I'm worried about you, but I trust you.
He'd look over the line of the guards that are under the headsman's axe, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he looks at Rune for a moment, kind of meets his eyes and goes, "Hey,
So, Rune will watch the scene, but take a step back, allowing whatever is going to happen. And Dorian will himself would be a part of the rest of the dwarven crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I will
You watch.
defer to you on this one, because I am still too wounded to make a decision on this. But so help me, if a single one of them hurts another person, I shall have them all killed.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
All right, so be it.
How about we just try and heal right now, after today?
I honestly don't know if we can. But I would like to hope that it's possible.
Maybe a nice cup of tea with Poppy will help. It always helped me out.
Oh. Do you think that she would break bread with me after the things that I've done? If I told you...
I think... Rune smiles. I am very certain that she would break bread with you because of what you've been through. Your soul has been scarred, Dwarf. She would want to work with you to heal it.
May the gods forgive me.
Well, they will in time. They all know it wasn't you who did it, right? It wasn't your choice.
Will, but it was my hands. It was my hands that held the lash. It was my
And that is
hands
something
that
you...
held the chains.
That is something you have to work through. I would say by calling out to your god just today you called out to yours, and they answered. They hold no judgment over you.
Would that I had been...
Two guards approach. Southbound on the main wall, on the main road that cuts along Kovlar. Aye. Hammersong. Or who's in charge? Falrock. He sends a messenger. The starved wish to speak. Aye.
Oh, do they not?
Rune smiles. Oh, good. They were a nice lot. All things considered.
The guards will lead you north to the wall. Back in Breach Hill, 1,000 miles away. Aghi's asleep. The Citadel is much more comfortable than it used to be. It's been renovated. Wilfred's put in quite a lot of work here. There's a room with your name on it, Sailix. You and Vesperin arrive. Sometime later, I imagine hours later. Go ahead.
So before it's like Sailix would have made sure he had put a bed in his room for Aghi because, again, he didn't want her to be waking up alone. But staying outside of the door with Vesperin. I saw that look you gave me. I don't know what kind of self-hatred trip you're on. This is in no way your fault. Me and Aghi, we both went there on our own, without you. I accept the consequence of my own actions.
Pharasma came to see me while I was in the prison.
Well, we came to see one of us.
You don't understand. She said that I was destined to be alone, and that she was angry that I had been wasting her gift, and she would take it out on you. And I begged her not to.
Sailix will cut her off, and he will kiss her, and like hold her face in his hands, and look at her and like, "This is not your fault."
I'm so sorry.
Again, not your fault. Pharasma has stated that she is displeased with how you utilized her gift. So, no more suicide missions. Nothing like that. She's not hard to please. What we will do, we will put one foot in front of the other, and we will move forward. And he'll like kind of roll his shoulders back, a motion that he used to do when he would spread his wings, and he kind of like winces. It's like, right. Like I always say, for you, and he'll lift her face up to look at him again. Like, for you, I have become death. And for this family, I will slay the world. And then he'll pass out.
Leaving you.
So, Vesperin would sort of do her best, because she's not very strong, to drag him into his bed next to Aghi. And then she would spend a couple hours bringing her workbench in there and make like some sort of salve or something for the wounds that they suffered, to just make it less painful so they can each rest easier. And then she just hold vigil.
Yeah, it's quite quiet and cold again to be back here. Spring hasn't come. It feels like it should have been years, but alas, it hasn't. Somehow, some way, in your distraction, you hear footsteps, but I think you have a good idea of what's going on, and 10 visual. It's uneventful before you decide eventually to turn in or not. The story's different for Aghi. Aghi, you've been exploring the Citadel. Checking it out. Last time you were here to explore, you were killing goblins by the dozen. But that doesn't seem like you anymore. And you don't remember why or what happened. Suddenly he's there. Wilford. And you remember that chance at redemption. Maybe it was him, maybe it was Saren Ray's light giving you the opportunity. standing in the doorway, the same way he did expecting Sailix to come out of that portal, or the half-dozen rescues Sailix and Vesperin made to him during the war. He's just ready to be saved, to be rescued. He's not a hero, but this protector, an accountant for the unforgotten, and he doesn't forget any of you. I'm proud of you, Aghi.
Nothing to be proud of, Will.
No, you did it. The Aghi here, she's dead. Aghi redeemed. Aghi Lavendale, apparently, but there's a fire within you, and he fixates on the oil lamp in the corner of the room. And it's strange, everything you go through, nothing can scuff out that flame within you. But we can scuff out this one. And he flips the lid on the oil lamp and the light goes out. And that's where we're going to end tonight, guys.
God damn! Ain't no way to work through some PTSD with some...
Uh-oh.
That's our daughter,
All right.
okay?
Well, go to bed, Vesperin. Just go to bed. Go to bed.
Damn it.
She's a
Well,
good
all right. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We went a little bit over, but I had things I needed to get off my chest, and I was done with the torment. So this one was a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Let's do our outros. And then I'll send you guys away to bed too. Starting with Jen.
Hello, I'm Jen. I played both Hysteria, the Strix cleric of Song Catan, as well as the Vesperin, the sea elf rogue. You can find me on the internet at savagesparrow.com, where we are currently wrapping up our eHyoCon sale. You entered the code OHAYO, OHAYO, like Ohio gozaimasu. You can save 15% off of everything that you want to buy, so please check it out if you want super awesome nerdy things like a snuggly blanket for winter or sweet tank tops for summer. Yeah!
Dr. Mr. Smith.
Oh, hello. Hopes I was not muted. Hello. I am Dr. Mr. Smith. I played Rune Ravenswood and very briefly Dorian Ashwood, the Dark Archer. Thank you all
Quite
for
fun.
watching. I appreciate it.
Sam.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. I played Aghi, the half-orc barbarian. That is going through lots of stuff, but at least she will not wake up alone.
Yeah. Oh. Daniel.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel. I played Sailix today, who had a hell of a trip, and it was a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. So
Yeah.
but my garbage fire of a family is still alive. So
Yep. So dysfunctional. Love it. And last but not least, James.
Hi guys, thank you so much for letting me play tonight. I played Waldorff Skysteel, Dwarven Cleric of God who freaking knows what. Once again, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/pennyforatale. Check out our YouTube channel. Give us a like and a subscribe, and give us all of your love. Ian, thank you so much for once again crafting such an amazing story and such an amazing world for us. I don't know how you hold it all together. And
I
thank
don't.
you all so much for letting me be a part of this. I'm truly, truly honored. And I don't know what I would do without you all. Thank you.
I have been Ian. If you like the virtual table up, fantasygrounds.com. If you are looking at some off virtual tabletop character management or party management, theonlysheet.com. This map that I was using, the visual effects is Fantasy Grounds Unity, but the map itself is Che and Piku on Patreon. They create maps and then they create several variants so I can be dynamic with the map and get into all kinds of shenanigans to like make my players miserable. If you're interested, check it out. Highly recommend them too. The music was Rock Narden and Michael Gelfi. The ambient tracks between the songs was Michael Gelfi. You can find links to their content in the show notes. But other than that, I'm going to let you guys go to bed. So good night. Thanks for watching. See us next week, 8:30.
I love you.
Wrong way. This way.